Good evening, everybody. It's 7 o'clock, and the meeting tonight is presented by Area 58. And present is Tina, Bob, Gerald, and myself. And our first hearing is 7 p.m. Yeah. Mr. Daniel Kennedy, would you like to read the petition, please?
Just do it.
Yeah.
We find it. And the sheet as well.
And to tell you, Mr. Kennedy, tonight is we only have 4 members, and they all have to vote in the affirmative to pass it.
Can you find it? 994.
Yeah.
See it?
Past all the years. Past all the years. That's being recorded.
Mhm.
Did you mention this one?
I can't go back and forth like this.
Area
Yeah.
58.
Thank you. Sorry.
I wasn't paying attention.
The Halifax Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Monday, July 10th. That's our last one. At 7:10 in the Board of Selectmen's meeting, Halifax Town Hall, 499 Plymouth Street, Halifax, Mass. On the application by Daniel Kennedy for a special permit for a dog daycare and dog training facility in a business zone located at 416 Plymouth Street, Halifax. Said property is owned by Halifax Park Plaza of 1 Westinghouse Place, Suite A, 401 Hyde Park, Mass. As shown on the Assessor's Map 72, Lot 10, Book 52462, page 7, the applicant is seeking a special permit for a dog daycare and dog training facility in a business zone, as this project would violate Halifax zoning bylaws 167.7 Schedule of Use Regulation, and requires a special permit for a permit in a business zoned area.
Do you have anything that you want to show us tonight, what you're going to do and all that stuff?
Yes, so I brought a few things, extra copies, so here's one for you. Here's one for you. And I'll give you an extra. I also, so I know last meeting, you guys had brought up a question about the square footage per dog requirements. And so I brought the articles with me, but there's no mention in the Halifax bylaws itself about, because daycare is, in most of the country, it's relatively unregulated, so there's not a lot in place for requirements. They are trying to pass them now with all these law, but nothing's been changed as of yet. But I did bring, both articles from Mass State Law, just going over the requirements for kennel license, and there's nothing about square footage requirements. The closest thing I could find was an industry recommendation that there's 2 options. So it goes for what they recommend for small dogs, 35 pounds and under, and what they would recommend for large dogs, which is anything over 35. And for that, they were recommending around 40 square feet for a small dog and 70 for a large dog. And so I have mapped out on the floor plan there, the larger area. Let me pull up my copies right here. The larger area is 1,512 square feet. So we had mapped that out, that would hold about 24 dogs, I believe, or it might have been 22 large dogs, but we didn't want to have groups over 20, so that space would hold more than the amount of dogs we want to have in it. And the small dog area, that's 972 square feet, would hold up to 24 small dogs, and again, we don't want more than 20 at a time. And we would ideally, I mentioned before, we would have, no more than 40. And we also, I drew on here, there's a separate area in the center that looks, there's this L with the boxes. So that would be the area, the rest area for the dogs, where if they're not out of play, where they would be contained, where they'd be housed, where they could have access to water, and just like a safe place to take a break. And then, did anyone want to look at, you know, the regulations that I did print out to see?
So the area you'll have is within the red that you have marked off?
Correct, yes. The red line is the outside boundary of the space. And so the bathrooms over here, they're going to be sharing with the front units. So that's why, if you can see this area here, so this is like a shared hallway that cuts into our space. So this is actually going to be one tenant, the boxing gym. So we'll have a hallway, we'll have entrance to the hallway, and then we'll go to the bathrooms here. But we'll have separate access to here, separate from that hallway.
So you're gonna have this area right here and this right here.
Yes.
And in this total area, you're gonna, how many dogs you're gonna have at one time?
40 at maximum.
But what you're gonna start off with?
Right now, we average about 11 a day.
11 a day.
11 a max right now.
And the floor on this area, is it cement or is it,
It's going to be 3/8 inch rolled rubber flooring. That'll be provide cushion for the joints, and it's also a non-porous material, so there'll be no issue of like any urine or liquid getting under it. It'll also help dampen the noise from the dogs.
and how do you clean, let's say the dogs soil the area, how do you clean that to get the smell up?
So I did mention that the last time, but we did have a plan where we would be cleaning up after each dog, like individually. We'd spot clean after every mess, and then we would also be doing a minimum of like once or twice a day, like full area cleansing, sanitizing. So they have these special enzyme cleaners that actually help break down any like urine odors and like fecal odors and things like that. And they also have sanitizing product to help kill any known like parvovirus, adenovirus, kennel cough, lepto, things like that. These cleaners are designed to prevent and kill. And then the waste is individually bagged and then placed in another bag and then outside of the dumpster for weekly pickup.
And you said that was away from the building, the dumpster?
It's on the corner of the building. They have a cement pad there.
So the area you have labeled with the square footage, that's the play area?
That's the play area, yes. The total area is 3,600 square feet.
And then the other area with the crates, how many crates do you plan on having?
So what I drew in there was there's 10 spots there, but you can actually, I would build up a wooden frame around them, and then you could actually house another unit on top, so it could hold a maximum of 20 crates in that space.
So you're gonna double stack them?
You wouldn't have all 40 dogs out playing at the same time?
Correct.
Yes.
No, we would not.
And how many dogs per person do you?
There's going to be one staff member for every 10 dogs that are out like on the floor, but there'll be more staff, you know, there's going to be office staff, management, things like that in addition.
So,
But that's just like when they're at large in the play area. If there's 20 dogs, there'll be at least 2 people.
Now, is this just a daycare?
Training as well, but no
So these
overnight.
dogs don't spend no overnight?
There's no overnights, correct. They're in and out. And it's mainly Monday through Friday. The only thing that would happen on weekends would be training, which is by appointment only.
let's say, say like you have a dog in there that's, you know, unruly, you can't control them, what do you take them out of the mix or you put them in a cage?
Yeah, they would be, well, we have to track each individual issue. And if they're if it's not the first time that there's been an issue, then their owners would be contacted and we'd have to come up with a different game plan. But for the moment, we would, interrupt whatever is happening, so they wouldn't be allowed in the large play group, kind of assess the situation, do another behavior assessment, see if it's a medical issue that's causing it, if it's a behavioral issue, if it's because of another dog in the group. One dog can completely change a group. You take them out, and what was once chaos has been, completely calm because there's just one dog that just didn't mesh with everybody else. So that's a simple fix. I did also bring with me, I didn't make copies for everybody, but these were a couple of emails from some town residents that had some words to say about me coming to town. If you guys wanted to read those, I can pass them on to you. I also did bring, I am a certified dog trainer, so I'm not just doing this as a hobby. I do have accreditation, and it is my profession. And I also brought a letter from the president and school director that I got my certificate from.
Now, do you hold a license in this town yet?
I was told that I would get it after I was approved because I'm not currently working in town. But I do have, I'm an LLC registered with the state, registered in the town I'm currently operating in as well.
We actually contacted the town you're currently operating in, and they said you are not registered, and you've actually been told not to watch dogs. I have an email here from them right here.
They said that I would need, if I wanted to continue doing daycare in my home, that I would need to go through and get a kennel license. But I was already planning on moving my operation out of town, so I didn't apply with the town for a kennel license. And I've been mobile doing pack walks.
I don't know, this just says he was actually shut down for operating without a license last February. That's what the town of Plimpton told us. We have to be super careful with kennels because we've had some real issues before. So we have to check and dot all of our I's and cross all of our T's.
Yeah.
Town of Plimpton sent us this. They've also sent us a few complaints.
They never addressed those complaints with me, so that's interesting. So I talked to an officer. They told me about the change in plans because originally there was no requirement unless the dogs were overnight, you didn't need the kennel license. And then I think late, last year, they changed that. So then in February, they did reach out to me and say, look, if you're going to continue to do this, you need the kennel license to operate. And so that's why I stopped, because I'm trying to find a new spot and get the appropriate licensing for that.
So you didn't have a license in Plimpton?
No, because when I talked with them, I didn't have a kennel license, I had a business license.
They said you don't have a business license either.
Well, that's not accurate.
I talked to the
No,
town.
I'm not arguing.
I'm
with
just
you.
telling you what they told us.
Yeah, no, that's,
A business license is totally different than a kennel license.
Yes.
I mean, kennel license, you have to provide us with a lot of, you're gonna operate a doggy daycare center. It's like having a kennel. You're gonna have the maximum of 40 dogs. You might, one day you have 20, one day you have 15. It depends on, the influx of dogs coming in and out. But we have to cover ourselves. We've had
This says right
2
here.
kennels in this town that went south. We don't want to do this again, And
This says,
we want to be careful, cautious, and not to bring stuff into this town that's going to cause us as a board headache, because, if we don't do the right thing, we need to do the right thing before we proceed with this thing,
in this from the Plimpton Police Department, it says soon after our last conversation, the kennel that was operating on Center Street was shut down. The individual was denied both a kennel license and a business license to house dogs on the property during the day or for overnight housing for a variety of reasons. The individual can still operate his business elsewhere, such as walking dogs or dog training in client houses, so you may see his van around. If he wishes to open a kennel in another town or apply to have one here in Plimpton, he'll need to go through and get a business license and zoning process prior to receiving his kennel license. At this time, we do not have an application for him to restart operations in our town. That was May 14th, 2023, from the Plimpton PD.
You're gonna have the dogs outside the building at all?
Dog license valid.
No potty breaks or anything outside? No potty breaks or anything outside?
There would be I believe it's like a 2x4 raised platform that has its own catch tray, and it's like little turf that people could take their dog out to when they bring them in. So let them go to the bathroom, that would be clean daily, but not on the property itself. That would be on like the cement. It wouldn't be off in the wetlands or the abutting area.
Do you have any questions?
No.
What are your concerns?
Well, my biggest concern is every time someone was up for a kennel, even the people we had, they told us everything was great. And we had to jump through hoops to prove them wrong. And I mean, we had the selectmen camped out at their place overnight because of the complaints we had from the neighbors to make sure that they were correct, and they were correct. And then we had to get down there. When we were having a meeting here, when they told us that they only had so many dogs, and we had to go down there to check it while the meeting was going on, and they lied to us. So we're very cautious about everything that you're saying, and, you know, I mean, we'd like to have your business. I got no problem with daycare. I think it's great to have dogs trained. It's just that we have this background of doubt.
Of course. I can't speak for, the choices and mistakes of the past individuals, but I can say this is like my lifelong dream and passion, and so I do, whatever requirements I need to meet to make this a reality and make it happen, like I'm willing to do.
What about you, Bob?
So Monday through Friday, you're 7 to 7?
Yes.
Weekends are appointment only?
Correct.
So if you do dog training during the week, where would you do the dog training?
So some of those are still in-home, but there's also the open area here that it would be, probably one dog at a time. If we were to do group sessions on the weekend or anything like that, these are actually all removable fencing. They're mounted to the wall. They do fold up and out of the way, so that would open up that entire area for training as well. But that training we also do in public training where we go to public places and other people's homes and there, so.
So if you did any training on the weekends, similar hours, 7 to 7?
Like I said, it would be by appointment, but yeah, it would be within that time frame. Honestly, probably more of like a 10 to 4 kind of deal
Yeah.
for the weekends. But
Well, I think we should get some professional opinion about this from the town council. See what we need to do and what's gonna happen, how we proceed with this. What do you think?
What would you ask them?
Hmm?
What would you ask?
I mean, does he need a license to operate in this town first? I mean,
He would.
he's saying that he needs a special permit to operate. If we give him a special permit and without a license.
So the selectmen don't want to give you a license until you have a special permit to operate?
well, I just walked down today and I talked to the town clerk and I asked for an application. And then when I went to go put the address, I said, well, right now I'm out of town, but I'm trying to apply for a kennel license here. And they're like, oh, hold on. And they grabbed somebody else and they said, you would get that once you're operating in the town.
But you can't operate without the license.
No?
You need a
Well,
license.
once I got the approval is what they were saying.
Do you have a license from the state?
Yeah.
Do you have it on you?
No.
The town may need it.
Actually, let's see, I might have. No, it's just the EIN. Let's see.
We can pull it from the Secretary of State, so if you go through your information.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to-
You know?
It could also, with a contingency of getting a license.
Right. Well, what is the pleasure of the board? I mean, do we want to continue this till next month, till we
Does-
find out?
Anybody else have anything?
Anybody of the audience in for this?
Any question, any concern? No?
On-site, anybody? I wouldn't mind seeing it. I know there's probably nothing there, but just to get I meant to drive by on the way here.
I mean, I wouldn't mind going there either. You know, what I'm trying to get my mind around is, you have boarding here and you have dog training. And if you had 40 dogs there, for the life of me, I don't know how you could train anything.
Yeah, the space is so constrained.
Well, so, I mean, part of the daycare program, it's training and enrichment daycare program. It's not a free-for-all. It's not an all-day run-around crazy hectic. We're doing brain, like, enrichment exercise. We're doing brain games. We're doing obstacle courses. There's heavy interaction one-on-one in these small groups, and then they have their breaks, so there's downtime. And it's supposed to be a quiet environment, but the dogs need to be able to work around distractions. So no matter what's going on in the next room, they need to be able to focus. And if-
I'm not questioning your capability of doing this here.
Yeah.
What I'm
We just
questioning
wanna
is, I'm
understand
just
what's-
looking at the size of the room, and I'm looking at the number of kennel spaces you have in here. And I mean, if you got 20 and 20, and even if you put the dogs in here, I just don't know how you can manage training when you have 40 dogs in that building. I mean, I'm just thinking of the other kennels that we had, and they had much bigger spaces, and then they still couldn't do what they said they were doing. And that's why again, I'm not questioning your experience, but I'm just questioning the size of this here.
Yeah.
At 40 dogs, and you're gonna be training them,
Well, I'm not training all 40 dogs. Like I said, like there's gonna
Yeah.
be, some of them can add on different exercise while they're there for daycare, but the training clients are separate. They're included in that 40, but they're not, like, there's not gonna be 40 training dogs, 40 daycare dogs. There's gonna be 40 altogether at a maximum, and that would take some time to even reach.
Do we need to do an onsite?
I'm sorry. And the license from the state.
If we do an on-site, do we have access inside the building? Can you arrange that?
I can talk to, I think the kickboxing gym guy's there all the time, and he let me in last time to get some
'Cause
measurements.
I think that's what we would all want to see.
We need to see
Exactly.
what the dimension, you know, like.
Like, blue tape it out.
3,600 square feet, we need to see where everything's going, so we,
This is also before the renovation, so there is a big octagon room that takes up probably like, I think, 2,000 square feet of the space as is, that's currently standing.
what about the
That they would
noise
have to-
level?
Yeah.
The noise level from the dogs barking?
Well, they're not, I mean, the idea, we don't want to listen to it either, because it's very
A lot
dangerous.
of people, you know, want to understand I mean, you're gonna have a couple of dogs that are barking all the time.
Occasionally, some
Yeah.
dogs bark, but
And,
usually they're barking because they're overexcited, there's too much energy in the room, they're stressed, they're scared, unhappy, or what, they're just not being paid attention to. That they don't bark for no reason. There's a reason. So if there is a dog barking, we address that, and we try to make sure that it's going to be a quiet environment for everybody involved, because some of the dogs don't want to hear the barking just as much as we don't. And so that's a big focus. But in addition to the rubber flooring that helps us, like, there's also going to be acoustic panels that I can hang from the ceiling to also mitigate some of the noise.
Yeah, you want to do an onsite?
I think it'd be a good
Do
idea.
an onsite?
I think it'd be worthwhile.
You know, at least we'll know what we're doing, what
Yeah.
we're looking at and all that stuff.
Like I say, my main concern is just the quantity of dogs.
And sometimes seeing it in
To say
person,
40 right away, I mean, I know your business plan, whatever your business plan is, you need to have so many dogs to make everything work, you gotta pay your rent, utilities and everything else. I understand that. My question in my mind is, only because we've seen the other counts, I just have to see the space and visualize the 40 dogs and how you can contain them. That's all. I mean, I'm sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, there's not 40 dogs out at a time, there's not 40 dogs open in the space. They're contained to areas that are staffed, and then some dogs are at rest. You know what I
That's
mean?
what I have to see. You know, where do you put them while you do training some, that's all. Are they, you know, how big are the cages that are going in here?
I mean, you need to know the dimensions of the crates.
Well,
That's what we asked for at the last meeting.
Well, what I had planned for in the space was a maximum of 2 feet wide, because most crates aren't any wider than that. So we could fit the 10 there, and they're no more than usually about 35 inches high. But these are standard collapsible crates. They could be, there's going to be, the bottom row would be 48 inches, and the top row would be 36 inches.
that's fine. Those sizes are typical. That's not a big deal.
Site visit? Yes.
Yeah.
What's that site visit?
To the Saturday before.
It's the first day of soccer, so we're gonna have to be careful. Sorry.
Anybody want to make a motion for an onsite?
I'll make a motion for petition 994 for an on-site September 9th. At what time?
9 o'clock?
9.
9?
I just won't schedule any games at 9. But I need to attend, or Peter needs to attend.
And also, probably when he comes back, he can bring the license that he has for his business. A copy of that. Okay?
Absolutely.
Anybody second it?
Second?
Jean?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's all good. What, September 9th?
Yes.
9 o'clock. Then we'll take a look at the place and we'll see what's going on.
So,
All right.
You might want to follow up with the Plimpton PD too, and if these aren't justified.
Just,
Well, it's the fact that they told me to stop daycare without, and that I was still dog walking and training, like that part's accurate.
September 9.
so I'll make a motion for petition 994 to continue it to our September 11th
Site visit.
meeting.
Second?
Yep.
How are we on time frame?
7 o'clock?
No, days.
I think this is the second meeting.
This is the second meeting.
Second meeting. Yes.
9 a.m.
You lost?
June 13th was filed. So we're going to be
Just
short.
need an extension too.
I think we need an extension, right?
Yep.
You want to give him an extension?
We have to give you an extension to the September 9th. You have to-
September 13th.
September
'Cause-
13th.
Yeah, because the site visit's the 9th, which is Saturday, Sunday.
Meeting's 11th. It might be
Yeah,
just within.
right.
A motion to give him an extension?
Yes, you
Yes.
think he needs it?
Yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Want to make a motion?
Get a piece of paper.
You want to, you got a blank piece of paper, please? You want to write on this that you need an extension and sign it for September 13th?
If I need to date it today, too.
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Thank you.
Right.
So this is on the back of the building, looking at the back of the building, it's all the way to the left, correct? Towards the back.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, the back.
Yeah, it's, yeah, the Rockland Trust side.
Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, good night.
So we got the extension,
Yeah.
and we voted on it, and we got the
Site
time
visit.
frame, 7 o'clock on the 13th, right? Okay.
Now, we got petition 1992. You want to read that one?
I want to make sure I'm on the right one. Here, okay. That's it, here. Halifax Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Monday, July 12th at 7 p.m. in the Board of Selectmen's meeting at Halifax Town Hall, 499 Plymouth Street, Halifax, on the application of Vishnu Patel for a special permit for an in-law apartment located at 657 and 659A Monpont Street, Halifax, Mass. Said property is owned by Bella Realty Group of 655 Monpont Street, Halifax, as shown on Assessor's Map 19, Lot 866, Book 646, page 67. The applicant is seeking a special permit for an in-law apartment as this project would violate Halifax zoning bylaw 167-7D12, schedule of use regulation, area zoned residential, commercial. Petition 992. You are just in time, sir.
I was gonna represent. That's still okay, it's okay. He has broken English.
Okay.
You want to come up?
Is that fine if we both come up?
Oh, you can
Sure.
go on. Yeah.
Come on. So, how you doing? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
What are you guys planning on doing?
So I'm sure you guys are aware of Twin Lakes Liquor over there. The structure to the left, there used to be a gentleman that lived there that kind of fell out of working on the home and kind of went into a state of disrepair for a while there. I'm the general contractor with JWR Construction. We pulled a permit probably 6 months ago to rehab the structure. From what I understand from the old building inspector, who's obviously not with us anymore, gone somewhere else, that property used to already be zoned for in-law, but because it was not habitated for so long, that it fell out of zoning. So we're just trying to get it reclassified for an in-law, so Mr. Patel could live with his son.
Do you have paperwork for this?
Mr. Patel's son said he dropped off some paperwork already. I did, obviously file all the paperwork.
Yeah, Halifax is like one of only 8 towns in the state that you have to do every 5 years
Okay.
for in-laws.
Yeah. I believe that's how it was zoned already. I mean, we didn't change the footprint at all of the structure, so.
Even for the same owners, you have to read
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Every 5 years?
every 5 years.
I didn't know that.
There's a kitchen like that.
Yeah, this is just how the structure sits. We didn't add anything or add any square footage to the home.
Where is the shared living space over here?
So this represents the first floor of the main structure, and this is the shared living space. This will be the shared passage through here. Shared utilities, obviously.
This is going to stay open all the
Yes,
time?
yes, sir.
And this is the shared area?
Well, this is the shared area, really, the bath, closet. This isn't really a closet. This is a washer
A
dryer.
bathroom is not considered a shared living area.
So this in-law kitchen area or his kitchen. What do we need to be
You need
considered for a
to
shared
have
area?
a living area where they both,
Or both. So I mean, he does have this living area here. Is that still considered?
they need a common area that they can be together in.
Do we have a square footage amount? Do we have something that's classified as? I
I don't
mean,
think we have a square footage amount, but
what
the
classifies as a
opening-
shared area?
the opening right here has to stay open,
Yeah, it will.
and a
That-
shared
that door would have to be removed as well.
That door is not there. That's not there. I don't know why you drew that there. So this area is totally open here.
I mean, right now, you can put a door right here, and this would be separate, and this,
Yeah.
I could.
but they need a shared area.
Right, so there's no doors going in either of these locations? No door. So all this would be
Yes,
shared?
yes, but you need a common
So I'm
area,
asking what,
Allow-
a common area where they can, they be together.
Come in.
what can this be considered the common area then?
It's generally like a living room,
And
TV room.
that's why I'm asking, is there a square footage requirement? Is there a classification of the shared space?
They just need a
If they want
common
to share space, we'll
They need a
get
common
in the bathroom.
area.
Just not the bath, that's the irony, is the bathroom is not,
No, I understand, I'm just making a joke.
So-
I'm just questioning, I guess, how big of a space do we need? Like, are we talking
the TV room.
20 by 12 by 12?
That was on your phone.
I don't
I think
think
we used to
have.
have,
What are the rooms right to
They
the,
have kitchen on both sides.
No, no.
Sorry.
right in the condominium?
Right here.
On the
No,
left.
no,
Up
on the
there.
opposite the bathroom,
Yeah.
what are those rooms right there?
This is a laundry room, and this is just an open hallway. It's for open
Do you have a
passage.
shared laundry room?
No,
No.
No?
They don't share the laundry room?
no. Can't
They're
do
not
four.
sure.
You
Can't do
can't.
bathroom, you can't
I could
do-
change this laundry room to something different if it'll classify us
Maybe
as,
put it as a TV room.
that's, I mean,
If they can
I was gonna
have,
sit
if
in
they can
there.
have the shared living area, they can have the shared living area right in here. That would be-
This is existing, the bathroom,
Oh, there's 2 bathroom and which was it? Oh.
so I don't know where, I mean,
I'm looking.
where we class, unless we remove the kitchen and made this the common area, I can move the kitchen up into the front of the home. Nothing's here.
As long as they have a common area where they both can,
If you could
Would this
flip,
be considered the common
if
area?
you could flip flop it and make that like a communal dining room, you would be spot on.
So this can't be considered, because I mean, we're talking still kind of into the dining room here. Could this be considered the common area?
where's the entrance to the,
Here,
no, the outside entrance?
here, and here.
So they got 2 entrances.
Yes.
Why don't the kitchen be the common area?
I don't know. I love it.
What's that?
She's looking at
Fuck
Any
it.
room
The kitchen
or
can
suite
be-
of rooms comprising one complete housekeeping unit with its own cooking, sorry,
Nope.
that's just the in-law thing. There's a lot of pages here.
How many square feet is the in-law?
We got 20 by 33, so 600.
Shared living space is a common living area open to and used by both the main resident and the residents of the in-law apartment. Entryway, foyer, laundry, bathroom, and other areas determined by the zoning board are not considered shared living space.
Was kitchen on there? I'm sorry.
No,
no.
kitchen was not on there, so you could
There's our
use
common
the
space
kitchen.
right here.
There you go.
I like her. Microphone.
What's that?
Or determined by the board?
Yeah, I'm just, I appreciate
You
it.
need a common area that they can share.
I understand, it's the son and the father. I mean, they're gonna
If the
be,
in-law didn't have a kitchen on this side, I would consider that a common area, but they both have kitchens. So I wouldn't consider that common.
I mean, Mr. Patel would be able to go over and join his son for a cup of coffee at the kitchen, his kitchen if he wanted. I mean, that would be a common, I'm not dismiss what you're saying. Just without having to redo, I mean, obviously, you know, I'm into the phase now where most of my rough plumbing and electrical is done already for some sort of kitchen layout here. I will say I have not fortified locations for this area yet, so if it pleases the board that I could perhaps rework that somehow, but it would still be, this would still need to be the kitchen because this is the only space for a living area in the in-laws.
So what about if you bring the bathroom closer to the kitchen and make that entire...
As I said, everything right now, no, just, everything's framed, everything's plastered.
Okay.
Everything right now.
What are your plumbing? Your plumbing already plastered?
Everything was
Right.
except for plumbing for the in-law kitchen because we hadn't been approved for that yet. So I haven't done any electrical or plumbing for this yet.
And the bathroom as well?
The bathroom is done.
And what is the other room down the bottom?
This here,
Right, no?
Dining.
On your side, right there, yep.
dining room.
Dining room.
Considered
Yes.
dining shared space, because this one doesn't have a dining.
This is an open area, you know, floor plan, everything's all very open to each other.
Is that an existing kitchen?
It is not, but it is where the kitchen is planned to be and is already, as I said.
So could you
plumbed
flip
and-
it?
Plumbed and electric, it already has plumbing and electrical
Oh, okay then. Yeah.
in place.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say
That's a
that
closet,
too.
correct?
Yes, sir.
You said that was laundry?
It's a laundry. I don't know why I wrote Boston on there, I apologize. He has his laundry as well.
2 laundries?
Yes.
One for each house.
Oh, okay.
It's not us calling this thing.
How big is the house?
We call him last
So this was 660, we said.
Yeah.
This is 32 and 24, so, you know, I think,
4,000.
yeah, so
What's the requirements?
For what?
It's a 900 feet, there's a
In-law.
minimum feet, there's a minimum.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it can't be more than 50%. If there was
50%
something
done.
else too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it cannot be more than 60% of the existing thing,
Space, yeah.
space. Well, it is,
I
but
did have
I think it's whichever's greater, so I think he's still within.
I did have long talks with the previous building inspector about the setup of what was going on. And, again, because the house had been vacant for so long, just had to be reclassified.
Was there a
He
permit
didn't-
on
he
it
didn't-
previous?
That's the house
There
behind
was-
the Twin Lucas.
Yes, sir. I'm
The
sorry.
blue house.
Yes, sir. Now,
There was a permit on it before?
there's a permit on it now. There was a permit on it.
for an
before, but
in-law.
we had- Yes.
You don't know when that was, do
It
you?
was probably before the 5 years it had to be.
Yeah.
Again, there was a gentleman living there that let the house go.
But it was built as a legal in-law.
It was. Again, we have shared utilities already in the home, HVAC, hot water, electric, everything is shared.
The size of an in-law apartment shall be no larger than 50% of the first floor living space of the main residence or 900 square feet, whichever is greater.
Yeah, so this is actually a two-story house.
Yeah, but it says the first.
First floor residence.
Okay.
Or 900 square feet.
Or
So
900
it's
square
still-
feet.
it's still-
Yeah,
It's fine.
first floor.
He's okay.
Yeah.
It's
It's
more
only
than
half- it's only
50%,
half
but
acre,
it's
yeah.
less.
600 to
So there's no dining area in the in-law apartment?
This is, we were
There's
just
no
gonna have a
dining
small.
area.
No dining area.
No dining area.
There's a
No
small
dining
kitchen
area.
table here for Mr. Patel to have coffee by himself, unless Kenny comes to join him, and a living area. And a bedroom.
So,
I mean,
let me get
The
the
dining
dining
area is
area would
shared
be the shared
space.
Can
space.
they use this as a common area?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
would say so,
Use
yeah.
Dining area is the shared
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
We'd be grateful.
Is there a place you can put this laundry somewhere else?
Again, the plumbing is set in place. Could I, if it pleases
If
the
this
board,
is open a
obviously.
little bit more, I'm more apt to the dining being the shed. That was my
but
thought.
it's still open, he doesn't have a door.
But
Yeah.
it makes it a little more
Welcoming.
welcoming, yes.
The only problem with that is if we do that is I do have, this kitchen representation is generic. I do have cabinets going from here, with, with an island space, for everyone to join together as a family here, with passage to the dining room. So I have, perhaps a few bar area or cabinets going here. This cabinet generic is very, very generic, this cabinet chart that we did for you. That is not the kitchen layout.
So is that, the dining area, is it an open floor
Yes.
for the kitchen?
This before was just a small entryway here, and we opened up this to
Right.
give the house flow.
That little wing wall in passageway, that is going to contain cabinets too?
Okay.
No, in the
This wall?
passageway. Nope,
This,
that one right there.
yes.
That wall extends into the passageway, right?
Okay.
No. Right there,
Towards me, towards
that
me.
wall, little wall right there.
Okay, there may be a few cabinets here, yes.
All right, will the cabinets go on that wall that extends in
That extends from this,
into the space? That's a passageway right there.
this way. The passageway's here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll not extend into that.
What
Because it's a
what
bathroom.
I'm saying is, what Bob is asking, if you remove that wing wall,
It's a bathroom.
It's a bathroom, yeah.
It's
just
a
that
bathroom.
little space.
This little piece, right?
Yeah,
Remove that little piece to make it a little bit wider, make it a little more
I
inviting.
think this may be exaggerated, ladies and gentlemen. I can't say for sure, but I've opened this to make sure I gave the full amounts. I didn't leave a little bump wall here for somebody to bump into or to hang a fire extinguisher. I'm sure that this wall is much
This
closer.
this wall is.
Yeah, I believe that's much closer to where the end of this wall. It doesn't protrude from that bathroom wall a foot, is what I'm saying. This opening is,
Might be
bigger
just-
than what you
It
showed.
might just be
Yeah.
cased in, it might be cased in, but it's not
it's, yeah.
framed out for a
Like,
door.
there- also, obviously, there's probably, maybe a stutter here too, as well. Like this opening is just not represented correctly. I apologize. But
So what is
it
it?
is open as wide as I can be.
So-
I think a lot of things are generic on this drawing, and it's not how it's actually going to be. I think I would feel more comfortable with drawings where it's how it's actually gonna be, not a
I think
generic.
what was asked, no disrespect, I think what was asked for by the board was an overall square footage layout, not so much as what would pertain to finished carpentry inside, as more of how big is the in-law going to be, is it accommodate the rules of the 900 square feet or 50% or whatever. So these were just kind of thrown in just to give a feel. Again, I believe from what we were told was we just needed a general layout of the building so you could
Yeah.
see what was
And also,
actually.
when we vote on something, we have to vote on something presented. We can't vote on something presented that's generic.
Well,
It has to be certified.
We couldn't actually, the only thing that's generic here is this kitchen layout really, because we don't know what we are allowed or not allowed to do at this point. So I can,
I get that, but you had the walls and stuff like that. You're saying the bump out is not actually that big. It's
I can't say for
smaller.
sure. If it pleases the board and that is correct, I'd be more than happy to open that up further. But what I'm saying is I believe that this opening is the full maximum between the bathroom and.
We need
and
to
the
see
closet.
we need to see the plans, the way that the house is gonna be when it's finished.
Okay.
This is, I mean,
I mean, you're right on track. Like, you're good with space, you're good with size, you're good with space. But just get us what you're doing. And
How you
right,
propose to
the way,
build it.
the way the house is gonna be when in a turnkey operation, when this guy is gonna move
So
it.
really the only difference that we're asking is a different perspective of what the kitchen is gonna look like.
make sure the kitchen's correct, make sure that your little opening there is correct, and that's laundry, as it actually is.
Point being is, we're trying to figure out if that opening there is a little bit bigger, it looks like that's good, and that's gonna say the dining area is the shared space.
Well, I don't see how, I mean, if the opening is the code, the 42 inches or whatever that the hallway needs to be, I don't understand how that would change, whether the dining room is a shared space or not.
'Cause
What
if
I'm
we-
saying is the code.
Well,
this-
just
this-
looking
this
at
hallway,
it,
and this is definitely up to code.
looking at the way it's drawn, we don't know if that's the correct dimension or not.
Dimension,
That's
size.
what we're getting at.
We need the accurate dimensions of we need the plans to be accurate.
Because what you're saying is that wall is really
Not
not
that
that big.
any plans when we got the permit, because the space, the building was already what it was, and we didn't change anything inside except for a couple of things which we did give new drawings for, like this beam.
certified?
Like I said, we opened
Is
this
it a
wall up, and
certified
everything else
plan?
was already existing.
Are those walls already started?
Yes,
Everything started?
Yes.
In drywall?
yes,
The in-law as well?
yes.
I mean, everything's already done, sheet rock and everything.
Yes, this isn't plumbed or electric for the kitchen, because I was told that I would not be able to have a stove in that area, or maybe even a sink. I'd have a small bar sink. I wouldn't be able to have a full-size sink. This is from, again, my lengthy conversations with the past building inspector.
Yep.
So we did not wire for an oven or a sink here yet. And besides that, he told me that if I didn't add those two things, that I wouldn't even have to do any of this. Like, I could just
Correct.
do whatever I want. And so we're trying to come straight with the board. We want everything to be on the up and up. Hotels have been in the community for a long time. We've tried a lot of stuff. We're just trying to get this.
We're not trying to make this
When
harder for
when
you.
Mr. Potter was here last month, I think we asking him to have a certified copy come.
And then I think Mr. Patel, who
Mr. Patel,
apologizes about
yes.
vacation in Hawaii, living his best life better than all of us, dropped this drawing off to the town, and was told that he thought that it was.
No, it's not.
We need a certified
Yeah.
copy.
Someone said that, he told me that someone said that this drawing probably would suffice.
We're going
We
through,
can't
we're
vote
going
on
through a
this.
lot of changes in this town, and
We
we're
can't vote on
involved
a
in
piece of
numerous
paper like this
lawsuits.
without even a stamp on it, and saying, this is the actual drawing that's gonna, what you're doing over there.
I'm having a hard time understanding.
So fix your wall, fix your labeling, fix your kitchen.
I mean, for another 30 days,
I know.
I mean, can I really just give me a little white out? I can white that out?
No.
I mean, really, that's the road, the discussion right now. The kitchen
The
is.
problem is we've had so many lawsuits because someone will be like, well, you let this person do it or you let that person do it. And if it's just a little, can I just do white out? And then
Well, there's
We've
no
had
laws and
issues
stuff.
in-
It's shared space. There's shared electric, there's shared heat, there's shared water, there's shared, everything is shared. There's open passage through both spaces to allow for the in-law. And I believe, I don't want to disrespect anybody, but we're just talking about finding a space here we can call it common. And we've kind of vacated from there and gone in other directions. If I could do something to get back to making this common, something that would, the board would allow, then I'm really trying to push. We've already gone 60 days now with it on the board, no disrespect. But we're just trying to get things moving and get Mr. Gonzalez moved in. And, we're not trying to break any laws or do anything shady. Okay. Open. You guys, I'll give you the code to the house. You guys can go in for a tour.
We can't vote on that.
Okay. What do you need from us then, sir?
It has to be certified by an engineer.
Architecture.
Certified by an engineer, the way, the way it sits, the way it is, what you're doing there.
Well, but I changed, things like the beam that were changed. I obviously got engineered drawings and stamps for those things. What engineer specs do we need just to say that this is going to be an in-law?
Have your architect who drew this up stamp it.
I don't believe you had an architect draw this up, honestly. Okay. So we need to get some architect drawings, is what you want. You want architectural drawings. Okay.
What about an on-site?
I would welcome you to an onsite.
We can,
If that would help. If not, then just tell me now and we'll just go with the architect.
we can do an on-site. You want to do an on-site?
It won't be in lieu of, you still have to have the architectural drawings.
And we see, then we'll know what you're doing over there. When we go on an on-site, we'll see how the layout is.
Sometimes going and seeing it in person, you get a better idea. Like you see something on the plans, you're like, it's too narrow, too small, but you see
Maybe,
it.
we can tell you to do this, that, and things will be different.
I welcome.
And we're not opposed to it, we just want to make sure we're covered
That's fine.
as a board. So the on-site would have to be after the other?
Yeah, September
September
9th.
9th.
I'm sorry, I'm going to Mexico September 9th. Do I need to be
he was
there?
living his best life.
No, they have to be there.
Okay.
Seems like
You
you're
gonna
both
be there
living your
for
best
me?
lives.
You be there September 9th? You can show them around the house?
Yeah, you can.
You're gonna need to remind him.
Yeah, otherwise,
All right, well,
Just give us the
figure
code.
it out. Whatever. Please.
Anybody want to make a motion for the on-site?
I'll make a motion for petition 992 for an on-site September 9th at 9:30.
Yep. Second?
Yes.
Yes.
They want to go to the house or just look around? Okay.
We'll be going there on September 9th and check it out. And
put it on your,
if there's any changes,
Want
we'll,
to live in Mexico that day.
and
I
Send
think
you a
mainly, we're
reminder,
just looking for
Because I know you're super busy.
my thoughts and dimensions in this hall.
And
Yeah, I mean, everything else is,
that's why I'm
whatever you're doing is
confused
fine.
because, I don't know, what.
I mean, we have an idea of the square footage. I
Again,
think
it's
it's
just,
just,
if these openings are 42 inches, which accommodates the code for a hallway, then, I could provide you with that, tomorrow if we didn't have to wait another 30 days to,
I
to me,
think
this
we-
is something minimal, that, it
I think we'd
needs to be shown.
still like to do the on-site
That's fine. I have
anyways.
no problem.
motion to continue?
Yes, motion to continue.
Yep. Second?
September 9th, 9:30.
Tina?
Yes.
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 What are we
Yes.
with timeframes? Did he do a continuation last
He
time?
They did a continuation
last
last
night.
time.
We had to have him come in to do the continuation, remember?
Yes, but how long did he continue it for?
45 days?
Did he?
The less time we could shoot this out, the better for all of us. I would appreciate it.
until our next meeting.
He might have only gone to 30.
He's over the 30.
Yeah, we might be.
It
past
was
that.
at the last meeting.
So we're gonna need another one.
We need another extension.
More paper.
Can we get another piece of paper, please?
We're gonna write an extension.
We're glad you're here. Can you imagine what it was like without you?
I don't want to either.
Our heads cut up.
So as well as the extension, we still need to use, the board still is requesting a stamped
Yes.
architectural drawing of the space.
Yeah.
We can't vote on it if it's not stamped. I mean,
It has some sort of stamp on it, not necessarily, but I want to use smart. Halifax Bank.
Yeah, that's what we received.
it needs to be stamped by an engineer.
Even though the structure hasn't been changed at all, except for whatever I did, which I did get.
Everybody goes through the same thing.
You know, it's unfortunate, but that's, you have to have a stamp drawing, and it has to be exactly the way you built it, so we can approve it.
Well, you think that when you pull a permit, then that they would require you to submit
I'm sure they told,
drawings?
I'm sure they told you you needed it stamped.
An agreement to
They gave me
extend
a
it.
permit, I didn't get many stamp drawings, I just reviewed that.
Well, someone is slacking.
I know.
He's not here anymore.
Yep.
That says that, I guess.
No, just like Tina
Yeah, because
mentioned.
if you had it just when you have the permit, you won't have to go back.
If you go to the bank to borrow money, they're not gonna give you money on this piece of paper, because it's not stamped, they wouldn't give you the
I
money.
understand. We've not because the structure was standing, we really didn't change the skeleton of the building.
Extending.
Require.
Extending petition, whatever, 45.
Hey, it's unfortunate the 5 years passed.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is. So what's really like, this is, kind of strict rules here we're going by. I'm just wondering why is the town so strict on just having,
It's not strict. We've had a lot of issues in the
That's
past,
what,
lawsuits.
renting
Yeah.
instead of in-law?
Yeah.
Is that the problem?
If you put a door through here, then
You
it
put a
becomes a
door.
two-family.
Yeah, so I've been in the business for over 20 years. A lot of times, an inspection will come through here and they'll say, all right, this opening cannot be 38 and a half inches finished, because we know as soon as we leave here, you're gonna put a 36-inch door in there. So they may come to
Because we were
42
extending
inches or
the
something
petition
that
45 days,
Yes,
so
you
we
did
can
do
do
it.
the next meeting. That's all that's
normal.
It becomes a
That's all you need
rental
to do.
property.
Well, that's why you have to have shared utilities, which is done. All that-
You're asking
all
for
that-
an in-law apartment, then it becomes a rental property.
But it's, can't rent an apartment, you can't have a rental, though, if it's all shared utilities. How are you gonna break that up?
No. Depends upon what you charge for rent. There are a lot of ways people
When
do
will the
it.
next meeting be, sir?
What's that?
What's the next meeting?
September 11th.
11,
September 11th?
yeah,
7 o'clock?
yes.
So you're doing walk through September 9th at 9:30?
Yeah, we
Right.
like to freshen our brains.
Okay. I appreciate your time.
No problem, thank you.
You guys have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Very good.
And I've asked that we do a call the Wednesday before, so he remembers, because I know he's a busy businessman.
Can you give us a call? Can you give him a call and let him know that we're coming on?
I will let, also his son Kenny, to Kenny.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm here just with Kenny.
We'll get this done. He's gotta do it
He
right.
wants to move in, he's ready to
No, I
have
get it.
Thanksgiving in his new home.
He will.
We want him to move in
Lot better,
too.
right? It's
We
not
want him
such
to
a
move in.
mess, as long as they
Yeah.
get mowing that grass over there. All right,
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Is that it?
to the finish line,
Huh?
to the finish line.
You want us just to leave
I don't know. What are you here for?
a determination letter if possible?
A what,
Did
look?
you get that today? Or the other day?
What is,
This is for Ponton Street, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Each of that property on Ponton Street is supposed to go to the,
yeah,
and have that, saying that
Please.
it's a violation, so we can come to us, and then we can vote on it. We want to start building.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
So-
it wasn't just that, but from the, I had brought an attorney here to try to explain that I had exercised my variance.
Yep.
And just to get a letter for the future. That's really all I'm looking for. I've got the building permit on its way without, they're just waiting for another, to go send to the conservation or something to update it. But the determination letter would stop this, because I've gone through 3 building inspectors, and I just don't want it to keep getting brought up. I exercised, which I think my lawyer demonstrated it, and the lawyer that you hired. I took down that 3,300 square foot building,
Yep.
and I have a septic, I have a septic design, I have the conservation order conditions, I've done everything that the town wanted me to do. I put up a fence with a building permit, and with a determination letter from this board, just stating that I exercised my variance, so that I don't have to keep, like, if next, a month from, 2 months from now, I get another building inspector, I have another issue again. And I'm not trying to be violent about that.
No, it's awful that
But
we keep having new buildings.
Well, it's not just that, it's this, and the secretary, everybody's been great. The whole town, I've always complimented anybody in the town, at least they're willing to listen, and I've got through everything. But I've gone through, this will be the third secretary, I think, with, you know, the third one's here now. And it's just I go backwards all the time. Every time I want to go forward, I go backwards. And it's just, if I had a letter from the board here, it would stop the zoning part of it anyways. I'm not worried about the permit anymore. When I left here the last time, a month ago, the building inspector went on vacation, but he had all my stuff for the permit. He told me today that he was preparing it for me, so I don't have a problem with the building permit. But if 6 months from now, another building inspector comes in, I'm gonna go through this again. If I go to modify it or change it or...
I hear you. I'm living on an unfinished street for 17 years.
Yeah.
I keep going back to square one, too.
I'm not asking for anything that I don't...
When are you going to start building?
I haven't got the building permit in hand yet, but it's not a big deal. I would like to start within the next 2 months. You know,
So you need a letter from us.
well, I don't need it to start. I just need it for the future. Does that make sense? Because
but the
you
board-
gave me a variance.
How can we give you a letter for
You gave me a
for the
variance.
future without having a start date or...
Well, I've already got the variance. I have a variance. You gave me
Yeah.
5 variance,
Yep.
5 variances.
Yep.
And you had to hire a lawyer, I hired a lawyer, just to get the language correct. And that was for Dr. Merger. Is that what? And that's all we had to do. We worked 100 days almost went to 100 days with the zoning board of appeals. You got guys came down. Does anybody remember coming?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a cold call.
Staying the year. I had the 91-year-old lady that owned half that property with me. And, but I've got the variance. What the building inspector originally said was that he believed that the variance had run out because I didn't exercise it by doing this. What the lawyer was saying, and everybody said that we got through this already, if you just got a variance and you mowed the lawn, that doesn't exercise a variance. So it would run out in a year. You come back for an extension, or maybe you'll go through the whole process. I did more than that. I had a demolition permit for a 3,300 square foot building, which everybody knew that. Tore it down by hand, mainly because we didn't want to put machines on the property, clean the whole property, a septic design, conservation came down, DEP, the botanist came down. So we've done everything. We had a temporary building permit from Rob, subject to merging those 2 pieces after you guys approved it. And I did all that. So I'm not asking for a variance. I've got a variance. I'm just asking for it to be that if the board believes that I exercised my right by what the lawyer and what the building inspectors and your lawyer kind of said, by exercising the variance, there's no more going back to talking about the variance anymore. You've exercised it to go forward. But if you didn't, and you were just mowing the lawn and cut 2 branches down from a tree and the variance was open, it would expire. So we need to get an
We
extension.
don't determine whether you've exercised
Well-
your variance. It's the building inspector.
Well, no.
We don't make the determination whether you've been working on the property or not.
But I think when you came here last month or the month
Yes.
before, I forget when it was, you mentioned that you wanted us to give you a letter, same letter that you're talking about, because the building inspector was not going to give you a permit
Right.
unless we gave that to him. And
Right.
we told you that we can't do anything, we have to have him deny it.
Yes,
Deny
which he
that.
didn't.
Which he didn't. So what he's
that's-
saying is that your variance is fine.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a permit, a building permit to build what you have.
I'm fine with anything anyone says, but it always comes back to bite me. So
I understand what you're saying, but
If
we
it-
can't give you anything unless it's been denied.
Has You filled out an application for permit,
Yeah, it's on,
so it's on its desk.
Yeah, it's all done.
So either you'll get a permit or you get
I
a
will.
denial letter. If you get a denial letter, then you file an application for petition, you come in front of us.
I think that's.
That's when we make a determination.
Okay, like I say, I'm fine, but I just know from the past, not just with this board, not just in this town, and I've lived in East Bridgewater all our lives,
Yeah.
but
No, the property's on hold. Yes, you're not doing anything with it right now. There's no construction.
No, I'm not building it.
I think I saw him out there with a shovel digging a hole for a foundation.
No, I'm
For
not,
us to give you a letter, we need a letter from the building inspector to deny you, then we can overturn the building inspector's decision and give you that letter.
okay.
Other than that, we can't do anything.
All right, do you understand, because we've gone through the building inspector.
Well, I think you know how we feel about this here. We've told you, we understand you already had the demolition, you've done that, you get the fence up, so in our eyes, you're progressing.
But the
So-
building inspector hasn't given you that permit to say, go ahead and build a building.
Tonight at 4 o'clock, he said that it's already been in the process since I left this office, and he just was waiting for the HERS, for the heat rating, for the report, so I gave it to him like a week later, but then he went on vacation. I talked to him at 4 o'clock today, he called me. He says he's just got to send it to the 3 boards, like the Board of Health, which they're fine, I just talked to them. No, everybody's fine, the building permit's fine. That I'm gonna get. But like I say, where there is that clause of a variance expiring.
Well, the permit is only good for 2 years.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the variance. The variance to make that this is pretty interesting and complicated, but it's simple when it was explained to us. That's why I thought when the lawyer came, he could explain better than I could. And it was a case law that says that if you got variance, which I got from you, and I did not exercise it, it expires.
Right.
Even if you didn't want to go for a building permit, the variance expires. So
How many years?
was always under the impression from the 2 lawyers, yours and mine, that once I got that variance and I started taking down, not a doghouse, three raised ranches is how big the place was. It was 3,300 square feet. I mean, that was a
That's
big
where the problem is.
challenge to take the thing down. To exercise that variance by law, to exercise it, I never thought I had to come back for an extension or it was going to expire. And that's why I was here a month or 2 ago. Because the building inspector was kind of on the fence, but he said, see what this board said. And it kind of, the way I got the meeting was that he really didn't really know what took place in the past. He really didn't know where that property was, or maybe he did or didn't, but he didn't understand. And I had everything just like we gave the board, all the permits that we got for the demolition permit. And that was the biggest thing. I used the demolition permit because that was the biggest thing. I took down the building half the size of this building, you know? So I'm just saying, I don't mind what takes place, but it's someday, a year from now or 2 years from now, with or without a building permit, I just think that someday if I ever had to, I don't know, add on.
I think
Add on. But, you know, if I didn't use the square foot, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
The square foot, for instance, the footprint, and I wanted to just add 10 more feet that I really have because of that variance that you allowed me, I just think that it would backfire 2
No,
years
you
from now.
would still have to come to us to do that.
2 years.
If you want to do an addition,
Well, I just meant if I
yeah, I
wanted
mean, but
to add.
what I'm saying is, as long as you get the permit tomorrow,
Yeah,
and as long as you build the building, you got nothing to worry about.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Like I said, I'm not asking for much tonight either, but if you can't or you don't, you feel
You can't give me
uncomfortable.
much tonight.
Okay. I said I would have left earlier. I said, did you just want me to go after everybody else? I didn't care.
No, I mean, hey, you can have your say, and we understand what you've gone through.
Yep.
So obviously you have that concern.
Yep.
But I think once you get the building permit, you're all set. You just got to build it and enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Really.
2 years from
I know it's easy to say, but
now.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, everybody that I know of drives by and they see the fence and then they say, okay, what's going in here?
Well, it was too open. It was
Oh,
always
yeah.
enclosed, and you couldn't...
But just by putting the fence up, you've created an aura of what's going in there.
And a full-time job to keep the stuff
The
quiet.
riffraff coming out of it, so sure. Yeah,
We did that last
Now
night.
you put the fence back all up again, right?
yeah.
Good man.
You don't know why, though, do you?
Yeah, I know.
Do we need to sign this?
No, you can
All right,
sign.
thanks a lot. I appreciate everybody.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
Any other business?
We have to introduce ourselves properly.
Yes.
Go ahead, Tina.
I've seen her on the soccer field.
You're Alex's
Yeah.
last year. Yeah.
Bob,
Bob, nice to meet you.
nice to meet you.
Because I am as well.
Jerry Joy.
Marlene Amity.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice.
all.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're
We
excited to have a
are thrilled to
secretary.
have you.
I'm trying.
We were really running around with our heads cut off.
Yes.
I see that coming in. It's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
You guys are better than the planning board, though.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Less busy. There's a lot more going on over there, I feel like. I see that was on the, under correspondence, but Caroline was doing, she already had the agenda. So she must have added that. I don't know if there was correspondence for that.
Oh, this gentleman that just came in.
Yeah.
We didn't see him.
I don't
No,
see anything.
because she had done the agenda, the only things that I added were,
We can't get rid of it, the determination.
Yes.
No, other than the building inspector gives him.
When do we know what's gonna happen next
He
month?
gets a permit from the building inspector, then he's good to go.
yeah, he came in today, earlier today, I think, 3 times.
Oh, boy.
So I don't know, I recognize his face, but I don't remember. Okay,
So are you secretary for planning board as well?
yes.
It's kind of good. I feel like it's nice to have some,
So we get on the curve.
no, some continuity space.
Yes.
Everything is so intertwined. It really
It
is.
is,
It makes
it
sense
is,
to have
yeah.
one person, and I'm very OCD about everything, so it's easy for me to do it all, I guess.
Good.
So, I'm excited.
We're excited
Yeah,
about
too.
you.
That's what everyone keeps saying, they're like, we're very excited to have somebody here.
Anything else?
It says Hilton Lane subdivision distribution memo. Does the board member have comments? What is that?
I think that I just stick it in here.
What is that? This one?
This is, I don't know if she put copies in everything, but that's what that's in regard to, how they're putting in subdivision.
What's that one?
It was
Something Hilda Lane.
Elder Lane.
Is that,
Oh, that's on 36.
It's Burgess.
Yeah, Scott Burgess.
it's not,
Hayward Street?
yes.
That's Hayward Street.
No, this one.
He wants to do
It says
something?
Hilda.
Held
What
on
what street
late.
is it
Hilda Lane.
Which,
I'm guessing Hilda Lane's the subdivision.
Yeah, there's
on?
the
Yeah,
block.
there's an address, there should be an address on there.
Off of Hayward, yeah.
Yeah, it's off Hayward Street. They want to put a subdivision there now?
or is he modifying?
There was a modification, I think. There was an amendment to an amendment of some kind.
Hayward south.
Goes between
Because
South and
on
I don't
Franklin?
think I ever go past Franklin.
You know Franklin, you know the bend in the road, Franklin, just before you get into Plimpton?
Yeah.
The road right there on the,
Going straight on south.
Maryland Diagnosis lives on the corner.
the horses there on the corner.
Yes, I know where that is.
And you go down there, that's Hayward Street.
So
Okay,
the horses will be up here, so.
okay.
And Hilda Lane is between, right next to the Cranberry Bog, you go right across.
It's not my part of town, people.
It's not an exception, they still have to do the street.
How many units in that subdivision?
2,
2?
right?
Is that where the town's gonna buy that land for the cemetery?
No,
No?
no.
No, he just dropped off those plans today, I believe. I think they
Who's the contractor?
is it Webby?
Yeah, Webby.
Engineering? So I don't know, I think that, I think we just said that you guys looked it over and if you had any questions or concerns that you wanted to voice. It's pretty well.
It's all wetland on there.
Will he finish
Mostly
that?
Whitman?
Yours?
Yes.
But my road's never getting finished. I'm gonna have to die on that road.
Oh, it's all wetlands.
I know.
Mine went back to planning board with nothing.
I think I have more than 1 acre wetland.
I feel like we already had a Hilden Lane, didn't we?
Yeah, he
It's
came
right
before
around
us, a couple of things with subdivision. He came, he wanted to do a single-family home and like an in-law or something for his son. His son was disabled.
This is 2 houses.
Yeah, that's one.
I think we're trying to shorten the
These are,
road.
these are existing lots.
Yeah, there's a house here, there's a house there.
Okay.
Yeah, but to do this, they have to take this road first.
What's it?
Would this be on, would that be a lot? Would that be a lot too?
Yeah. He was in here, he only here a long time. He was
Long
in
time
a big
ago,
house here.
Yeah.
And didn't he try and make these people here? He was gonna try and get them to
Yeah.
pay to build the road?
Yeah.
Mm.
He tried, this guy, he and this guy,
Yeah.
give him money to build a road.
Sounds like a great guy.
Yeah, really, this guy. That ain't gonna happen.
So like, what do we have to comment on?
I
Just,
don't
No,
know.
if we have any comments, or
He
if we
came to
don't,
the
then
last meeting, the last
hit the
planning
clip back
board
on it.
meeting.
And
comments, it looks really wet.
What is it?
Let them come back, let them
Yeah.
go through the motions that come up the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All we have to do is just
Sit and wait.
let them go through the motions.
He's on the agenda
See how far they get.
for
Yep.
September
They have to go through planning board.
9/7.
With the planning? Yeah.
Yeah, they have to go through.
Yeah,
planning.
this all just came in today. Where
And the guy that's, what the engineer is doing the drawing, his son lives on that street.
Oh, well.
Yeah, plenty of water in it.
The paper.
Put the clip back and we turn it.
I said, we've seen it.
Yeah.
Is there a sheet of paper that we have to sign? I know that's looking for my signature.
That was another thing that Caroline had on there.
You didn't come in during the month? I had to come in.
I went to come
I
in.
came in. I had to come in and sign something that we forgot to.
Yeah, I went inside.
minus.
All right, I'll come in, no problem.
Okay, yeah, they started this agenda before I came and like started to
Sure.
get everything and that was on there, so I'm
Yep.
not 100% sure.
Well, that's the problem.
That's what
I
we
think
got
we have a lot of meeting minutes to go over too, don't we?
I think,
Minutes?
I don't know if there's July ones in there. Now
We
that I have this
have,
agenda.
April,
June 12th.
April, May, and June.
yep.
July's on here, but I
There's no
didn't
minutes.
see them in there, so I don't know.
Meeting
Way back.
minutes, yep. Anybody wants to accept the minutes of 4/10/2023?
Sure, sure.
Make a motion.
I make a motion to accept the minutes for April, May, and June. How's that?
That sounds
2022.
good. That sounds good. Second?
Second.
So,
All in
what it
favor?
says 2022? That was last year?
Yes.
No, it wasn't. She made a typo back over there. It says 2020.
Passes 5-0.
Where's the,
Under May, she has
There's no
2022.
bills.
May
We don't have to pay
2022,
anybody this
April
week.
2020.
April,
Yep.
she has
I think we had we looked at these before,
Yeah,
but they had the wrong
yeah, wrong
date.
dates.
The third one.
I think that's why we didn't approve them last month.
Yeah,
What's that?
Yeah.
That's why we didn't approve them last month, because it said 2022.
22.
Yeah.
Both days come the same way.
So,
July,
April,
April 10, so date.
and then May is also 2022.
Okay, that's good.
So let's approve, we can approve June, because that's the correct date.
Yes, we approve June.
June's correct.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion to approve June 12th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes,
Yes.
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 and then we'll get to the other ones.
That's the
So we'll do April and May the next time, and then July's not in there, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other business?
Other business,
Bills? Any bills?
there's no bill.
No bills.
The only other thing we put in there was the retention schedule
Retention.
for the state, because we're gonna be kind of going through files and getting rid of things that we can get rid of. So if you want to reference that, just so you know what we'll be getting rid of, that's, we put a copy.
Please don't get rid of anything that says pasture lane.
Is that where you live?
Yes.
Okay.
They've already gotten rid of a lot of stuff.
Noted. We
He
just,
lives on Pasture Lane.
Very
Everything
sly,
gone.
very slyly, they've gotten rid of stuff.
where is that?
Off Elm, Hudson, over there.
Oh, okay.
And the Bulldogs.
Noted. Yep. I'll find out what those signatures are for, because I don't really know.
I think it's for whatever we passed. I came in and I had to sign 2 things that we passed last month
Yeah,
that we didn't sign here.
All for the decision.
That's what it's for, the decision letters.
All right, I'll check it tomorrow.
Who has determined these timeframes to keep the,
That's like the state recommendation for it, I think. We printed it offline for us so that we can look and see what can get destroyed. There's things that we have to fill out if we want to destroy certain things. And there's an overflow in the basement, so we need to get rid of some stuff. And we're moving, zoning and planning is moving down here to this room. And the meeting room will be upstairs.
Do they have any of it, like
It's
electronically?
It's kind of vague, that list, I find. We're hoping certain things are scanned in and can be scanned in and then discarded, but
some things have been beneficial to come back, especially in the ponds.
yeah.
So 1 year, see, I mean, sometimes we see people for a year.
Yeah.
Gotta keep your taxes for how long?
7, right?
Yeah.
We had a lot of stuff from the 1990s that we were going through, and like that kind of stuff. Different things that are on that list didn't need to be kept, so.
1990?
We have no room really for like new files and even existing files.
Oh,
We're trying to go electronic as much as possible. It's
It's tough, I'm sure.
It's overwhelming upstairs. So, hopefully, we'll get there.
Another is the secretary.
thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome,
very
thank you
much.
so much. Anything?
Motion to adjourn?
Second that.
Second, yep.
Very good.
Yeah.
All in favor?
You got it.
Okay.